Pressure make diamonds, I was cooked in the blaze. Psalm 1:1, I don't move with the strays. Stop last. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning into the Pressure and Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Edwards. All right, got a great episode, great lesson for us today, and I got my good friend and family member Marvin here, I got him here because he's a great brother in the ministry. He is a minister, he's a husband, he has a daughter, he's a great family man, and I thought it was fitting to have him on this episode as we talk about being a husband in Christ, what that looks like, what it feels like to be sacrificial. And one of the greatest blessings that we have here on this planet is being able to be married, being able to be a husband, having a wife by our side, somebody that we can depend on, go through life with, love and laugh, and even have disagreements sometimes. It's nothing better than coming home to a loving environment. And so we just want to break bread today in the Word and talk about what it means to be a godly husband. We're going to come from the book of Ephesians, and it's Ephesians 5:25, where I'm going to pick this up, and we're just going to branch off into it, free flowing style. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church. And so being a husband is a big call. It comes with a lot of responsibility, especially when you have children. Being the head of household, leading your family, not only in ministry as far as their direction in relationship to Christ, but leading them in their education pursuits, leading them in their career pursuits, leading them in a godly manner in all areas, demonstrating patience, demonstrating love, demonstrating kindness, sobriety, all those clear-minded, not being a person of double-mindedness. So, Culberson, as you and we call him Culberson, so you're gonna hear me say that his name's Marvin. We're gonna bounce it back and forth. But Culberson, when you hear this verse, when you think about Ephesians and being a godly husband, what comes to mind for you?
Man, listening to you say all that makes me wonder, like, am I hitting the mark, man? It's heavy. It's heavy when you hear that, because nothing puts like a responsibility, like the reality of the responsibility you partake in or you undertake in when you decide to be a husband. That is heavy. It's a lot. But I think the key thing in everything that you said was when you look at it, it tells us we're commanded to love our wives as Christ loved the church. So I think what comes to my mind first off is like, in order for you to reach your goals or hit those marks down here, man, you got to know who Christ is. Like, you can't love your wife as Christ loved the church if you don't know Christ. Like, I think that's the biggest thing when just in hearing you lay that out there like that. It's a heavy load. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know Christ. And one of the biggest things that always, when you hear that, is the first thing that always pops in your mind or my mind is, well, Jesus went all the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? He loved the church so much. He gave himself, like, he sacrificed, he died for the church. And so that's like the biggest thing that pops out to me when I hear you say that. But let me pause for a minute.
Yeah.
And let's rewind. And first off, thank you for having me here, man. And inviting me in and to be a part of this. I've seen what you're doing. It's really big. It's big, probably more so than you even know right now. Um, you know, the struggle of putting things out there in the internet or in the atmosphere is that wonder is, are people going to receive it? Are people going to watch it? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And in the social media age, everybody worries and wonders about likes. You know what I'm saying? How many likes did I get? Are people receiving this?
Yeah.
But if you lay it out a word, which you are and which you have been doing, like it's gonna bless somebody, whether you know what I'm saying, that you know it or they tell you. Um, and it is a blessing. So thank you for inviting me into this space, into your world, to just engage and conversate about the word, Lord. You hit us with a heavy topic for the first one. I know I was thinking about it as you were setting up and stuff. I'm like, dang, I thought we was gonna come and just chop it up, but you went straight. You fastball down fastball down the middle, because
Rip the Band-Aid off.
yeah, rip the Band-Aid off, because it's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Paul, I believe, I don't want to. I should have known where this is, but Paul speaks to. He says he says in one of his letters, he desires you were as he is. And at this time, it is believed he was single in this stage of life, but he was dealing with marriage. He was like, because when you deal with marriage, it is a big spiritual aspect, spiritual component to marriage, man. But it's also, you are operating in this human body, in this flesh, and there are wants, needs, and desires from both husbands and wives, in this space, in this years of growing together. You know what I'm saying? Because I can remember when I got married, I was 25, maybe. Man, 25, yeah, young man, 25-year-old man saying he wants he's ready to do life with this person, not even realizing or having an idea of what you are actually signing up for.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. You just like, we gotta be married.
Yeah.
I go live over here if I do life, but it's a lot that comes with that responsibility, especially, maybe, I don't know if, some people cohabitate before they get married and everything, but, if you do it the biblical way, one day you at your own place, and the next day you living with somebody else. You never lived with them before. You got to learn their mannerisms, all that kind of stuff, and starting to take on different roles. Figuring out who's going to do the dishes, who's going to cook, who's going to clean, who's better at this. I know for me, in my house, don't take this internet the wrong way, but I don't clean dishes. I just felt like I did it as a kid all the time.
I'm over that.
I'm over it. So it was like, look, man, I'll do the laundry, I'll mop, I'll vacuum, I'll clean, I'll dust. Just don't ask me to do the dishes. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of one of those things that started off in my marriage. It's like, look, man, I just, I believe in gender roles, but I'm not gonna clean the kitchen, and I'll do all this other stuff that supposedly a woman is supposed to do, but I'll pick those things up. As far as it's 2026, and so there's a lot of talk about what marriage is supposed to look like, what families are supposed to look like. And we talk about, especially in the word where it talks about a husband sacrificing for his wife, right? Initially, I just thought, sacrifice, okay, maybe I don't buy a pair of clothes and I go buy her a pair of clothes. But a lot of it is like sacrificing that ego.
Yourself.
Yourself, and diminishing that part where even when you're right, you sacrifice for the greater good of the family, and maybe in particular moments. I know it's a hard thing to do because I struggle with it myself to this day. But when I look at, how Christ has sacrificed himself, and he took on our sins, our disappointments, our disobedience, and all those things. And he paid the ultimate sacrifice, laying down his life for all of us, so that we can have right relationship and fellowship with him. When you think about that inside of a marriage context, you know, when I come home, maybe I sacrifice some of my wants of needing to always, be alone and debrief or, decompress.
Decompress.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, and sometimes you come home and you don't want to. You're not the most jolly at that
I don't
moment.
want to talk.
I don't want to talk. I'm not mad at you. Ain't got nothing to do with you. I've just been dealing with the world and all of its things, and I just want to chill out for a little bit. But when you think about that term sacrifice, because for a lot of people, sacrifice can mean I'm losing out. I'm giving up. I'm uh I'm you know yeah, I'm giving up something of myself that I want, and I'm sacrificing my desire, and it could be looked at as a negative thing. When you look at it as far as maybe for the context of your marriage or just holistically, what does that called bring to your mind?
Sacrifice, right?
Yep, sacrifice. That term, that just that piece right there, sacrifice.
That's heavy. Because when we look at it in context of Jesus, because it says to love like Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. One thing, like when you read through the Gospels, uh, Jesus never minced words, right? He cut it straight with everybody. But the thing was, I don't read too many times where he got much pushback from the regular people. His pushback was more from the religious leaders who
Yeah.
felt like, they knew the word, but here it was, he was the living word. In the context of a marriage, man, yeah, a lot of times you probably sacrifice your peace of mind for the greater good, the betterment of the house. Like, uh, being able to decompress. You want to, like, many a days. And I come home and it ain't like you say, it ain't like I'm mad. I just don't really want to talk. I've been having to talk to people all day.
All day long.
But the most important person and people are the people within your four walls of your home.
Yep.
You gotta sacrifice like that for the growth and development for your household, because you hear it, you say it, but I'm guilty of it, man. You can give the world, your job, outside people so much of your energy that by the time you get home, you ain't got none.
Right.
Right? And you just want to, man, cut on the game,
Yep.
cut on the show, and just sit there in silence. But here it is, the one whom you wed and said I do to, they want to catch up. They want to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They want to hear every
They
detail.
want to hear everything.
Everything.
And you like, I don't really want to relive that right now. So being able to lay down your needs for the needs of another is one of the biggest things I think of when I hear that word, sacrifice. And I'm convicted as I'm sitting here talking to you, because
As we all are.
it's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you feel because later on in that Ephesians, because man, that when you look at that that verse and you read it, it's just laying out. It's about 10 sentences about what the husband ought to do, and then at the end, likewise, so wives are to reverence your husband.
Yeah.
Like they get one sentence, one little sentence, because. And then that brings me to another thought that just popped in my head. Like, why did Jesus, when we talk about that sacrifice, why did he do it? It's because John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave. Jesus loves, you know what I'm saying? He loved beyond like his feelings. So it's just like a call for us to in that sacrificial role, we do it in love.
Yep.
Uh,
Even as Christ, it says, love your wives, even as Christ has loved the church. That's a heavy one, because not only did Christ love the church in laying down his life, when we look at the institution of the church and the ordinances of the church, and we see how Christ set up the church, it it calls us to look at it into ourselves in our own homes and see how do we set up our families, how have we set up our wives for success, because it also talks about the sanctification of your wife and how by your behavior, and especially in the context of this day, but by your behavior, you draw her or push her away from Christ. Because if the man is supposed to be the head of the house, following after Christ, is God, Christ, the husband, um, and we're supposed to reflect him and be leading to him. If we're doing the contrary, if we're pushing away maybe our attitude, our mouth, our language, our patience, then by nature, our children will understand, well, maybe that's what God is like. Our our wives, it's that, because not everybody comes from a family that has a wife that is so deep in the word and knows the word for herself. But for a lot of people, that husband figure is everything. And so when we look at that and we look at how Christ set up the church and put everybody in place and talked about how the priest was supposed to conduct himself. And we look, okay, so if we're the head of our church, our four walls, our sanctuary, what things do we allow to come in that has influence in our families, and what do we push out? Those negative things. Can you speak to some of that, and like maybe even talk about something maybe that you struggle with? Like for me, it was patience, man. I struggle with patience. Like I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. If I say let's do it right now, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
If I say it need to be done by 3:45, it's 3:46. Why is it not done? And I'm flying off the rip, and in learning the power of your tongue, because I tell you, I don't try to be mean, but I say a matter of fact. And
You
it can
cut it straight.
I cut it straight, and it can hurt. And I know I'll be like, that that would hurt because I felt it, right? And so learning how to draw that in and reel that in and become a person of patience and love, because Christ, he went into the temple, Jesus went into the temple, he flipped over the crooked money changers. But for the most part, when he dealt with the people around, it was compassion and it was love, it was patience. So can you speak to even maybe some of your trials that you had to overcome within your marriage to be that reflection of Christ?
It's so many. Um, I would agree. Patience. I because aspect of love is long suffering. Is being able to have patience, and not only patience with those around you, but then I guess you would gotta have patience with yourself. Because like I come from a broken home, but me and my father have a good relationship. My mother, we had a good relationship. But the home was broken, and a lot of you was developed in that.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the biggest things I would encourage men in that space of is one, understanding, like looking back at what you saw coming up.
Yeah.
And from that, taking the good and the bad, or taking in the good and not trying to recreate the bad, but like just knowing that it is there. And like these are things that pop up. Because unless, like I say, unless you had parents that reared you up in the fear and admonishment of the Lord, like you learning as like marriage is like trying to ride a bike. It starts off with training wheels, but the only thing is marriage don't have no training wheels. So like it ain't no such thing as like, you test this thing out.
Right.
when you say I do, you are saying like till death do you part.
Yeah.
And so it's a journey,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding like year 20 is not going to be like year 1,
Mm-hmm.
but year 20 comes with its own challenges.
Yeah.
Like you will have times when it's good, you will have times when it's not so good.
Mm-hmm.
But that patience, again, it comes back to patience of knowing yourself. Like, like you say, you want stuff done immediately. Me, I probably am more like I say, get it done. Like, for example, I tell my daughter to get something done. Uh, I allow, probably when I shouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
her to go from here to there, start a whole nother conversation, and then remind her it's still not done.
Yeah.
Or you set out chores and tasks, and look, this is for me, and I know we talking about marriage and everything, but part of that union is eventually you'll have kids.
Yeah.
Then that's a whole nother thing, because now you have another aspect to navigate in the home. Like, my daughter has chores. Sometimes she don't get them done.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably be more like you. Maybe a little tad bit softer, you know what I'm saying?
Softer, yeah.
But, one of them is emptying out all the bathroom garbage cans.
Yeah.
Especially before trash day.
Yeah.
And making sure paper towels are all throughout the house.
Yeah.
And so, whereas you might be like, ain't you supposed to do this? I'm like, man, well, guess the bathrooms aren't getting emptied. Trash going out.
Yeah.
Oh, just use the bathroom. Shocking. No paper towels are in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll take that approach when I should probably be like, hey man, you got one job. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got this one job and you are failing at it.
Yeah.
But the patience. I think men in general, we're hunter gatherers.
Mm-hmm.
So men, that's why men understand kind of like men. Like we don't, I'm not looking to get into it with you, because I know if I get into it with you, it's gonna be fight to the death, or till we're done and parted.
Mm-hmm.
So we avoid those type of confrontations. Whereas sometimes, women, they're not like that. They get into it, and you trying to just nurture and deal with all of this. And so it's you have to, I said all that. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I said all that to say you have to find your voice,
Mm-hmm.
the voice that one she can hear, and then the voice that she'll listen to.
Gotcha. How do you handle like conflict? So for me, it took me a long journey to be able to, and I think I'm at a place now where I'm handling it better. I'm not perfect, but conflict, an issue could arise. I could be offended by something my wife did or said or something. And man, I'd be a ghost. I'd be silent for like the next 4 or 5 days. And for me, I justified it as I'm processing it. And I was processing it. I wasn't, like if she said something to me, I wouldn't respond in spite. I wouldn't not do what I was supposed to do or anything like that. But I'm cold shouldered for the next 4 or 5 days until I get over it. And so I had to learn that, all right, that's not healthy. That's not good for myself, because I'm harboring it all those days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good for my wife, because now I'm pushing her away. And then after the 5 days is up, I'm back. But she
down. Where you been?
Right. So now it's extended, because she got to get over
now
it.
She got to deal, and now you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, learning that, okay, something happened. Let's talk about it either right now, or let's talk about it when we could both actually just talk about it. And then one thing that I don't know how it happened. I don't know I can't recall exactly when it happened, but I was sitting on the couch and I said, they got opinions too. And it was like, I never thought how you'd be thinking in your mind something,
Yeah.
but it never really caught on to me that other people got those same conversations about you. And it was like a revelation, and it was like, okay, man, I don't want people thinking that way about me all day.
Hmm.
And so it was like, okay, I need to change my behavior. Let's talk about the issue and let's resolve the issue the best way we can right now so that we can still be healthy around one another. Uh, what's some problem solving methods that you have, or a way of handling that disappointment, or what? Because that's part of the sacrifice, because where I want to pull away and be reserved is not healthy.
Yeah, no, I'm probably not the right person to ask. 'Cause my wife will tell you some of the stuff she's been dealing with as it pertains to me to 20 years. I don't know, man. Part of that is our personal growth, I guess. When you look at it, because we are like we have this calling, we're husbands, but we are also children of God.
Yeah.
And not only does our wives desperately need Jesus, so do we. I think the first place we got to look to is we got to look to his word. Look at how does the Bible say we are to handle these things? Because, and then not doing what is customary for many believers is, I like this part of the word.
Yeah.
I'll apply it.
Yeah.
I'm still working on this part.
Yeah.
I'll slowly,
Yeah.
God's still working on me
Yeah.
in this area.
Pray.
Pray for me. Yeah. We gotta work, man. I don't, it's a struggle, man, because we in the flesh too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We operate in this, broken vessel, in this body born in sin. So we gotta realize that for ourselves and work on those areas. It's in the Bible, when it talks about the qualifications of a bishop, there is a long list of qualifications. Like, you know what I'm saying? The husband of one wife and all, and it what says being apt to be hospitable. And it talks about behaviors that if any man, and it's just not that man that's looking to, a preacher or anything, it's that man that's just looking to be better.
Yeah.
Is if you start walking through those and, seeing which areas you need to work on, it'll help you. I don't know if I answered your question, but
No, yeah, because we're all in a different phase of all this stuff, right? And so when it talk about a few more items before we get out of here, when it talks about nourishing, you know, you wouldn't not nourish yourself. So because you're going to nourish yourself, you also got to nourish your wife, right? And so when I think about that, and I've been dwelling on when wrestling kind of with that, like, what does that look like? Nourishment. I always, the immediate thing is food, like what kind of food you put in your body, what kind of healthy thing. And so my wife is new to the faith. And so for me is speaking those words of affirmation to her, let her know she's on the right track, let her know, allowing her to find her relationship with God on her own. I was raised and born into this, so this is all I know, right? And so I have all these tools and things, but allowing her to grow in seeing her blossom at that is my way of nourishing her and allowing, not forcing her to accept, not forcing the scriptures down her throat, not forcing the biblical role on her, but building her up, encouraging her, allowing her to explore it for herself. And then as far as for our marriage, I usually lead date nights. That's just my thing. Like, I get excited for, I'm about to give her an experience like we ain't never like like I remember many years ago we used to compete. who would have the best date night. And then I killed it by I took her to LA for lunch. And I was like, oh, you ain't topping this, right?
Uh-huh.
Take you all the way here just for lunch. And you ain't gonna be able to put a better date night. So that's kind of way so when I think about what I put into as far as nourishing my spirit man or even myself, I'm looking like, okay, I want to work out because I want to be healthy.
Mhm.
Okay. So what kind of things do I do that in my marriage? How are we working out? So I check in. Hey man, how am I doing? Because I think I'm getting an A.
Mm.
You feel me? So I think I'm husband of the year every day, right? And so, uh, how am I doing as a husband? I check in with her. And sometimes she give me some things that I don't want to hear. Sometimes there's some things that I've been noticing the growth in these areas, and I appreciate that. And so because I want that kind of affirmation for me, because that
Mm.
nourishes me and gives me confidence as a husband. And so then I listen to her conversations and or the things that she want to talk about, and those nourishing things that makes her stronger as a wife. Because when it talks about how you would nourish yourself. Okay, what makes me strong? What makes me healthy as a person?
Hmm.
And hearing and acknowledging what those things are for me. Okay, well, I got to give those things to her. How does that hit you? Do you have those type of things where it's like,
Man,
where
I'm over here learning from you. I don't know if I could top anything you just said.
top it just when you hear it, when you think about nourishment, because you have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
You do, and and I know we're talking about marriage, but you're right. Part of that marriage umbrella is the children,
Yeah.
and your daughter. I've seen her grow and just blossom, and her charismatic behavior and her zeal for the church, and um, all that is an expression of how you nourish your family. Because if you were just constantly beating her down or constantly not allowing her to express herself in her natural form, she wouldn't be the girl she is today and growing into the woman that she's going to be. It's a compilation of both of y'all.
Yeah. Wow, that's deep. Um, you you are right. Like when it says when you think of that word nourish, you think of like what are you putting into yourself? That or what are you doing to make sure one you're healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's all our goals. No person strives to just be an unhealthy individual.
Hmm.
Like you got to work hard
Hmm.
or not as hard
But
to
it
be
takes work.
unhealthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it takes work.
It-
So the nourishment is like back to the text, the washing, just sanctify or washing of the water by the word. Um, is having those godly conversations, discussing scripture, like you said. Um, like one thing that's heavy. I don't even know if I'm even ready to ask that question. Is how am I doing?
Oh,
That's
trust me,
a
I ain't never
that's a
ready to ask.
that's a heavy one. But no, it's
Yeah.
probably good because you could think you pitching a no hitter, man. Knocking it out the park,
Hmm.
but really, in her eyes, you're not,
Right. Yeah.
and that is heavy to hear.
Yeah.
So I think those are good examples. We have this, and my wife implemented it, so I won't even take credit for it. We have a Bible study and game night.
Okay.
We try to have it once a week, um, where someone brings the lesson because that's another thing. Like you are the priest of the home, and uh, one thing we learned coming up as preachers always need to be ready to pray, preach, and be ready to die.
Mm.
Those three things um, should be uh, within the church, but also within the home.
Mhm.
So the teaching of the word, and not the um, this is what the word says you shall do. You got to teach it.
Mm.
You got to talk about it, and you got to um, be open to understanding that uh, everybody has opinions. That's one of the I think as a man, um, it can be difficult,
Mhm.
to hear. We can be open for hearing opinions from everybody else.
Yeah.
But when we come home,
From the people that matter.
the people that matter is, I said it, so you should do it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And we gotta fight that.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta fight that. We have to be able to hear, because like some people, like God gifts people in so many different ways
Mm-hmm.
that if I know somebody was awesome at math and just accounting, and if they're an accountant, I shouldn't be telling an accountant what to do when it comes to accounting.
Yep.
Like, I should be willing to listen.
Yep.
So our wives and our children, they come with their own gifts and smarts in certain areas. I should be able and willing to listen to what they have to say and apply where it needs to be applied. And you know what I'm saying? Or cultivate where it needs to cultivate. So yeah, that. And as we speak, you could be serving a word and saying "ouch" at the same time, right? Because
That's part of it.
we breaking this, we having this conversation, and you start to think like, man, I'm really sucking in some of these areas, and just so from this, got to do better.
Yeah. I mean, this was. We'll talk about fatherhood at some point, but man, I sucked, at least in my opinion, in fatherhood for a long time, just because my mouth, you know, in my patience, and I'm built as I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm a go getter. I could jump off the cliff and and not be worried about it, and not everybody else is like that.
Yeah, and being able to appreciate appreciate that aspect, because you are an entrepreneur. I'm not, man. I don't have a problem working for somebody, man. I just want to get paid accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And I be having all kind of thoughts. Like, I'd be like, man, I want to open up a laundromat. You know what I'm saying? Give me a laundromat, because that's every neighborhood needs a laundromat. So but I don't have that. I'm going to jump off the porch to go do it.
Deuces, 2 weeks notice.
And see, and my wife, she has an entrepreneurial spirit, and she doesn't want to work for anybody. And we've been fortunate to be a single family income for these 20 years, and it ain't always been easy. And money's been funny, and the change has been strange. But so it's areas like that where I should be listening, and you know what I'm saying? Or having the wherewithal to allow your wife to lead in some of these areas, and while you are navigating from behind, just understand, hey, whoa, pull the reins back when you need to. But I think when you said that was a heavy thought. They have opinions.
Yeah, man. It was crazy when I realized, hey, man, they got their thoughts too.
Right.
And to get ready to close this out, I want to hit 2 topics. For the man that's getting ready to get married, what do you say to him? And for the man that may be struggling in his marriage, what words would you have for him?
Well, I'll start with the one that's struggling first. I would say, you are not alone. You are not alone. Yeah. Not only are you not alone, there are, this poem comes to my mind. There's a line in it that says, "Remember, you are facing just what other men have met." You see, stuff like this is good, because people, when men see it, we are slow to share, because one, the pressure of judgment, the pressure of what somebody may think of you, those are real things. You know what I'm saying? And especially the enemy's desire is to isolate you, to make you feel like you're all by yourself. Elijah comes to my mind when he was under the tree, And he was like, God, here I've been doing all this. I've been serving you. And then God had to remind him, man, other prophets are out here
Yeah.
standing on the wall.
Yeah.
You are not by yourself.
Mhm.
So you need to get off that woe is me kind of I don't want to call it a pity party because the struggle is real and I understand it. But you are not alone. So I would say that to the men who are struggling in their marriage, to the ones who are ready to embark. Um, just know it's a marathon and not a race.
Mhm.
This is not the greatest 10 seconds on earth. It is built for a lifetime. So understanding that struggles will come and trials will also, but there is a blessing in marriage.
Yeah.
And so if you water it, if you nourish it, if you are demonstrate patience within it, um, it will blossom. But you just be ready to get your hands dirty. Because when you think of people that garden, it takes a lot before that tomato
Oh, yes.
before that tomato pops up.
Yeah.
You gotta till the ground,
Yep.
you gotta plant the seed,
Yep.
you gotta water it,
Yep.
and then you gotta wait.
Yep.
And
Pray something
and
happens.
pray and pray something happens because stuff doesn't change overnight.
Mhm.
You are two people, two lives becoming one. And you got all, depending on the age you get married, you got all them years of you being single. And then all of a sudden, like we said earlier, pow,
Yep.
the next day you are somebody's husband.
Mhm.
And in that, you got to learn yourself. You're going to learn yourself. You got to learn your spouse. And then they change.
Yep.
The women change. We change. That saying is so true now that I'm almost 47 years old, is that a man in his 40s who still thinks in his 20s he's missed 20 years of his life. Like you've wasted 20 years. It is so true. The older you get, the more your thoughts change, the way you see the world will definitely change. So I don't know. Hope I answered it.
No, good, man. Good. All right, y'all. This was a great episode. I hope you really enjoyed the conversation we had. Men, go out there and be Christ-led and the leader of your household. Make sure, I just said this in the beginning, but make sure that you like, subscribe, and you share this podcast with somebody else. Not so much that the podcast can grow and all that. That's a blessing, but we really just want to encourage men to be men and men to be men of faith. All right, till next time, be blessed.
Hope to see you soon.